Used Toyota hybrids over 150,000 miles? Here's the brutal truth. They can be the smartest used car buy on the road or a slow, expensive surprise that nobody warned you about. And the real reason isn't what most people think. Because everyone focuses on the hybrid battery like it's the only thing that matters. But after 150K, what usually gets people isn't just the battery. It's the combination of age, heat, neglected maintenance, and a few specific hybrid-only parts that can turn a good deal into a money leak. If you're new here and you want to understand cars before you buy them, you're in the right place. Subscribe, because every car has a story, engineering, psychology, and decisions behind it, and I'm here to decode it so you don't waste money. And quick favor, if you've got a friend shopping for a used Prius, Camry Hybrid, Highlander Hybrid, or Lexus Hybrid right now, share this with them. Seriously, this is the kind of info that saves people thousands before they learn it the hard way. Alright, let's break this down. I used to wrench on cars, and I noticed something early. Toyotas would roll in with insane mileage, 200K, 300K, and they weren't always the broken ones. But when hybrids did show up with problems, the owner was usually confused because they thought hybrid meant either forever reliable or one day the battery explodes and the car is done. Neither is true. So today, I'm going to give you the straight-to-the-point truth about used Toyota hybrids over 150,000 miles. What actually fails, what usually doesn't, what it costs when it does, and the exact buying checklist to avoid the expensive mistakes. First brutal truth, 150,000 miles isn't the real number. Age and heat are. Here's what most people miss. Hybrid wear is more about time and temperature than miles. A 10 to 15-year-old hybrid with 150K that lived in extreme heat, got parked outside, and sat for long periods can be a riskier buy than a 150K hybrid that got driven daily, maintained on schedule, and kept reasonably cool. Why? Because the hybrid system is basically electronics plus chemistry. Electronics and chemistry hate heat. Heat speeds up everything you don't want: battery aging, brittle plastics, dried seals, and cooked wiring insulation. So don't ask only how many miles. Ask, how was this car lived in? And yes, this matters more than you think. Second brutal truth, the hybrid battery isn't if it fails, it's when it weakens, and weakness is what you're buying. Let's talk hybrid battery, because we have to. Most Toyota hybrids over the years used nickel metal hydride batteries, especially older Priuses and many Camry hybrids. Some newer models use lithium-ion. Generally speaking, Toyota's battery management is excellent. That's why these systems last as long as they do. But at over 150K, you should assume one thing: the battery is not like new. That doesn't mean it's bad, it means it's aged. Battery aging usually looks like this. Your MPG slowly drops, the engine runs more often to help out, the battery meter swings up and down faster than it should, the car feels less effortless in low-speed driving. Sometimes you hear the battery cooling fan more often. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The battery itself is often not the only problem, it's the cooling. Third brutal truth, a clogged battery cooling fan can quietly cook a good battery. On a lot of Toyota hybrids, especially Priuses, the battery is cooled by air pulled from the cabin through a vent, then pushed across the battery by a fan. If that vent is blocked or the fan is clogged with dust, lint, or pet hair, the battery runs hotter. Hotter battery equals faster aging. Faster aging equals earlier failure. And it's so common because owners don't even know that fan exists. So when you're checking a used Toyota hybrid over 150K, look for that cabin intake vent, usually near the rear seat area. Make sure it's not blocked, ask if the owner had pets, and if you buy it, consider cleaning the fan as preventative maintenance. It's one of the cheapest things you can do that can extend battery life. Most people never do it. Fourth brutal truth. Battery replacement isn't always catastrophic, but the market is full of traps. Let's talk money, because that's what everyone really needs. If the battery is weak or fails, you'll see a bunch of options online. Brand new OEM battery, new aftermarket battery, refurbished or rebuilt battery, used junkyard battery. In most cases, the safest long-term fix is a new battery from a reputable source with a real warranty. The rebuilt battery world is where people get burned because some rebuilds are basically temporary balancing with old modules. It can work, but it can also fail again soon. So the brutal truth is this: A cheap battery solution can turn your cheap hybrid into a repeat customer situation. The smart buyer move is to bake battery risk into the price. If you're buying a 12 to 15-year-old hybrid over $150K, you're not crazy to plan for a battery someday. You're realistic. Fifth brutal truth: the e-cvt isn't the scary part, neglect is. Toyota hybrids don't use a normal automatic transmission with multiple gears and clutch pads shifting all day. They use an e-cvt transaxle, basically a planetary gear set working with two motor generators. From an engineering perspective, it's beautifully simple. Less friction parts, less shifting shock, less heat in the transmission the way a normal automatic creates heat. That's a big reason Toyota hybrids rack up miles. But here's what nobody tells you: lifetime fluid is marketing language. At $150K, if the transaxle fluid has never been changed, you're buying unknown wear debris floating around in the system. So the question to ask is simple: has the transaxle fluid ever been serviced? Even one fluid change in its life is a good sign. More is better if it was used hard, like rideshare or a lot of highway. On the test drive, pay attention to smooth acceleration, no harsh engagement, no strange grinding or loud mechanical whining beyond the normal hybrid tone. Transaxle failures are not common. Neglected transaxles are where the risk starts climbing. Sixth brutal truth: the engine can be a bigger risk than the hybrid system. This is the part that surprises people. Because everyone fixates on the battery, they forget you're still buying a normal gasoline engine with normal engine problems, plus the quirks that come from an engine that starts and stops constantly. Let's use the famous example, the 2010 to 2015 Prius, the third generation. Not every Gen 3 Prius blows a head gasket, but it happens enough, especially at high miles, that you have to treat it like a real risk. One common contributing factor is EGR clogging over time. When exhaust gas recirculation gets restricted, combustion temps can rise, and cylinder-to-cylinder balance can get worse. Over a long period, that extra stress can contribute to head gasket issues. So what do you look for as a buyer? Cold start behavior is everything. If you started cold and it shakes hard for a few seconds, misfires briefly, then clears up, that can be a warning sign. Not always a head gasket, but it's not something you ignore. Also, watch for unexplained coolant loss, a sweet smell from the exhaust, overheating history, misfire codes that show up in a scan even if the check engine light is currently off. And don't let a seller warm up the car before you arrive. A warmed-up engine can hide a lot. Other engine-related realities after $150K. Water pumps can weaken, thermostats can get lazy, spark plugs matter more than people think, PCV systems can clog, motor mounts can tear and make the car feel rough even if the engine is fine. So if someone tells you it's a Toyota, you don't have to worry about the engine, that's not truth. That's a slogan. Seventh brutal truth: brakes last longer until the expensive brake part fails. Hybrids use regenerative braking. The motor acts like a generator when you slow down, turning motion into electricity. That reduces how much you use the friction brakes. So yes, pads and rotors often last longer. But some Toyota hybrids, especially certain Prius generations, use an electronically controlled brake booster and actuator system. When that system fails, it can be expensive compared to a normal brake job. Symptoms to watch for: ABS, VSC, and brake warning lights. A brake pedal feel that changes unexpectedly. A pump that runs very frequently. Odd buzzing or cycling sounds even when you're not braking much. Here's a simple test drive question. Do the brakes feel consistent every time, or do they feel different from stop to stop? Consistency matters. And if you can scan the car properly, not just with a basic reader, you want to check the ABS and brake modules, not just the engine computer. Eighth brutal truth: the inverter is reliable, but cooling issues can create big bills. The inverter is the power electronics box that manages high-voltage electricity between the battery and the electric motors. Toyota's inverters are generally very reliable, but when they do have problems, diagnosis and repair isn't cheap. Also, many hybrids use an inverter cooling system with its own coolant pump. If that pump gets weak or fails, the inverter can overheat and the car can go into reduced power mode. What to look for: stable behavior on a longer drive, no overheating warnings, no history of "it shut down once but then it was fine." clean coolant, and evidence the coolant has been serviced at appropriate intervals. A neglected cooling system is one of the fastest ways to turn a reliable design into a real problem. Ninth brutal truth: the 12-volt battery can make a hybrid look broken when it isn't. This is a sneaky one. Toyota hybrids still have a normal 12-volt battery that powers computers, modules, and startup logic. If the 12-volt is weak, the car can throw weird warnings, act glitchy, or behave inconsistently. So, when you see a hybrid with random dash lights, weird resets, or odd electrical behavior, don't instantly assume hybrid battery. Sometimes it's just a tired 12-volt. At 150,000 miles, even if the hybrid system is healthy, the car can still need struts and shocks, control arm bushings, sway bar links, wheel bearings, tires, and alignment work. None of that is hybrid specific, but it's real money. And this is why some high-mileage hybrids feel cheap on the road. Not because Toyota forgot how to build cars, but because the last owner did the minimum. So, on a test drive, ask yourself, does it track straight? Any clunks over bumps? Any humming that changes with speed, especially in turns? Does it feel tight or tired? 12th brutal truth: the catalytic converter theft and emissions headaches are part of the ownership story. On certain models, especially Prius, catalytic converter theft is a real-world risk depending on where you live. That's not an engineering failure, but it can become your problem overnight. So factor in insurance implications, a catalytic converter shield if theft is common in your area, and emissions compliance if your state is strict. Because the brutal truth isn't just will it run, it's will it be easy to own. Now let's make this practical. Here's the used Toyota Hybrid over 150,000 miles buying checklist that avoids most disasters. Step 1. Insist on a true cold start. If the seller warmed it up for you, be suspicious. Cold start reveals misfires, head gasket issues, and roughness. Step 2. Check coolant levels properly. Engine coolant level and inverter coolant level if the vehicle has a separate inverter loop. Low coolant with no clear reason is a red flag. Step 3. Scan the car like an adult, not like a gambler. A basic code reader is not enough. You want to read hybrid control, battery ECU data, and ABS and brake modules. If you can't do that yourself, pay a shop that can. A pre-purchase inspection is cheaper than guessing. Step 4. Watch hybrid battery behavior on the road. You're looking for extremes: battery charge swinging wildly, engine running constantly just to keep the battery up, fan noise from the rear area more than expected. Step 5. Check the battery cooling intake vent. If it's filthy, that tells you the owner ignored simple things. Simple neglect becomes expensive neglect. Step 6. Review maintenance history. Oil changes on time matter. Coolant services matter. Spark plugs when due matter. Transaxle fluid changes matter. Brake fluid changes matter. Receipts beat stories always. Step 7. Evaluate the seller's vibe. This sounds weird, but it's real. A person who can explain the car's maintenance calmly is usually a better sign than someone who repeats, "It runs forever," because runs forever isn't a maintenance plan. So, who should actually buy a used Toyota Hybrid over 150,000 miles? Buy one if you're getting a fair price that leaves room for future repairs. If you can budget for a possible battery or brake system repair someday. If you want efficient, practical transportation. If you can verify condition and maintenance. Avoid one if you're stretching your budget and you can't handle a surprise repair. If you're buying zero inspection because Toyota. If you're ignoring known risk areas on specific models and years. If you're chasing the cheapest listing without asking why it's the cheapest. Because the brutal truth is this: high-mileage Toyota hybrids are not bad, but they punish blind optimism. Now let's wrap it up into the takeaways you actually need. Summary: the 5 brutal truths about used Toyota hybrids over 150,000 miles. Number 1, mileage doesn't matter less than heat, age, and maintenance. Number 2, the hybrid battery usually weakens gradually, and you can buy that weakness without warning lights. Number 3, cooling systems, battery cooling and inverter cooling are the silent killers when neglected. Number 4, the engine and brake actuator can be bigger financial risks than the battery in certain models.
Number 5. A great high-mileage hybrid feels boring, consistent, and well-documented, not good for a Toyota. Reliability isn't luck, it's engineering priorities plus owner behavior. If you learned something here, subscribe. Next, I'll break down the best Toyota hybrids to buy used and the specific years and symptoms I personally treat as inspect twice cars. And again, send this to a friend who's shopping for a used Prius or Camry hybrid right now. It's way cheaper to share a video than to help them pay for a surprise hybrid repair later.